right.
Just got to run to the can real quick. Forgot to go to the bathroom. Let me ask you something. What's wrong with Spider-Gwen's powers?
I have no idea. This is the first issue I've read in forever.
Because you remember in the Miles crossover, she kept having to like do something for her powers to work, and they weren't like finite; they'd run out. Like that was weird. And I was reading in the issues, and she's talking about her powers could somehow fucking cure Harry of being the lizard, and it would somehow correct her powers.
Story.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. There was so much to this issue, though. It made me want to like really take a hard look at it for some. I mean, the art's not that great at all, and it's been the same artist the whole time. But oh god, but the story, like it seems like a really well-built world, and like just from reading this issue, I feel like there's just so much that I missed. Like so much happened before. I'm like, oh man, like I'm just, like completely out of the loop here.
Yeah, I didn't know much what was going on either. It was literally the only Spider book to pick from, so that's why I picked it. I probably would have stayed away from like. It's not really a jumping on point because they don't tell you a whole lot.
No, definitely not.
Right.
And I don't know who that Laura chick is, or I gotta put Doctor Strange on my tablet. I forgot to because I'm not gonna be able to use my computer screen, or maybe I will be, but I'm gonna put it on my tablet anyway. I can do that while we're recording.
All right, I'm gonna get going here because I gotta get all the intro stuff out of the way. Try that again. All right, guys, how we doing? This is Brandon. I am joined by Trevitt just this week. Is stuck working super early in the morning, and we got together very late. So
it's my fault.
It's just going to be the two of us here this week. But we got his notes. We're going to share his opinions with you on the 5th episode of the Marvel Madness Comics podcast. So, you know, me and Trevitt has already talked a little bit earlier today. Just, you know, as far as formalities go, probably nothing really exciting happened in between the last time I talked to you and now. Or...
No, sounds scared. Like, watch
I'm in the same.
Hung out with a friend.
Chase my kid around all day long, so that's what I did. My girlfriend had to work. And we're back to bring you guys this week's titles. We got 4 for you this week. We give them to you in a buy, borrow, or forget it altogether format. Giving you a quick glimpse into the Marvel comic universe while keeping you up to date on some of the news, titles, and fun facts and stuff going on in Earth Prime or 616. I literally have no idea what they're calling it nowadays. It's one of those two. I think the editors want it called Prime. But everyone just still refers to it as 616 for whatever reason. So with that quick little mini history out of the way, we split things up into 3 groups. So our format is 1 book from the Spider family, 1 from the Hero family, 1 from the Inhumans and X-Men family, and then event books and the family line of event titles. We put a group effort into. Again, I'm responsible for the Spider books. Trevitt, you do the IVX books, and Carl takes care of the Hero books. With that all being said, we get into this week's stuff. If you're looking to get a hold of us, we have some ways to do that. You can email us at marvelmadnesspod@gmail.com. If you're looking to shout at us on Twitter, tell us our opinions suck or whatever the case may be, that is at MadnessMarvel1. And then you found this podcast some way, shape, or form. We use Podbean as our podcast catcher. It's also on iTunes, and we're in the process of getting it on Google Play, which is a giant pain in the ass I'm trying to figure out. And some of those other catchers. I use Player FM. I don't think it's on there yet either. So we got to get some of those other ones out there, but we're in that process of doing that. But while we do that, if you are on iTunes, please rate and review us. With that being said, we did get 1 new one this week, and that is from J3KC. I think I have a hint of who that is.
Do you?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's Joe something on Twitter. He's always shouting at us on Twitter. Well, not shouting like mean, but always hollering at us on Twitter.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So I think it's him, but I don't want to mistake if it's not. But if it is, thank you very much. He writes, "Dig the madness. The hosts are enthusiastic, knowledgeable about their comics. It's broken up into 3 categories: the superheroes, X-Men, Inhumans, and Spider Family. They cover 3 books a week, as well as some news, entertaining and critical with suggestions on new releases. They tell you to buy, borrow, or forget it, and he says buy. So we appreciate that, man, and you guys keep those coming. If that is you, Joe, and you're interested in some digital comics, we got some codes for you, so DM us or shoot us an email, and we'll take care of you that way. Or whoever that ended up being. Again, it was J3KC on iTunes. Was who left that review there. But other ways you can get a hold of us, again, was Twitter, and we like to retweet your poll list from Wednesday and stuff, so tag us in that, and we'll get the word out there. I'm just trying to grow a little bit here. With all that covered and out of the way, the formalities, let's get off to Trevitt's news section here. Trevitt, you want to take it away? We'll slide in our little and then you can go. So Trevitt, the news, why don't you take it away for us? Tell us what you found about Marvel Comics in the news this week.
All right, so that was kind of a slow week for news this week.
Feels like summer, leading into summer. The news slows down until the cons hit. That's when they start dropping all the bombshells again,
Yeah, because the events are already in swing by where the time we are where we are right now, and the next big thing we wait is for like the shit that happens in the fall, like the new Marvel relaunch and the kickoff to what happens after this big DC event. So
we're in the doldrums of summer here, where it's like baseball season and comic events you've known coming for a year now. So there's nothing like new to surprise you, really.
All right, so I got 3 stories. Number 1 on the list is The Runaways. So the Runaways relaunch that we talked about a couple of weeks ago has been announced that it's actually going to happen. And the creative teams have been announced too. It would seem that we were correct about the speculation of Chris Anka doing the art. And on top of that, there's Rainbow Rowell, who is fresh to comics, never written anything, no comic books before, but is a young adult author who writes books like like Twilight and shit like that, I guess you'd say.
That's a young adult book, but
yeah.
Is the artist Samney, you said?
No, Chris Anka, who was on Star-Lord.
Did he do Runaways before it all, or is this a whole new team that had nothing to do with it previously?
Total new team, had nothing to do with it previously. The previous run that was most notable was the Brian K. Vaughan run, but he's not coming back to Marvel anytime soon.
No, I don't think so.
So we got Rainbow Rowell.
Cool. The art did look sweet when we saw that teaser.
Yeah, Chris Anka is a really good artist. He worked on All New X-Men a little bit, and he's worked on a lot of series here and there. He also did Star-Lord. He did the 15, 16 issues of Star-Lord with Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah.
So, but now he's going to be doing Runaways. Sweet. Now, next story up I got Doctor Strange number 20, which was supposed to end Jason Aaron and Chris Bachalo's run on the title, but for some reason got pushed back to this coming Wednesday. And last week, instead, we got Doctor Strange number 21, which was a Secret Empire tie-in, and the beginning of Dennis Hopeless and Nico Henricon's new run on the series.
Yeah, that's pretty strange. That happened with a few DC titles towards the end of New 52 and beginning of Rebirth too.
Yeah, that did happen. This is
I was trying to just. I know. I was trying to think of. I'm like, that happened with another Marvel title, and I don't think it was Marvel. It was a DC book. But yeah, that's always fucking weird when that happens. I never. I'm like, well, I didn't even catch this one because I'm not a huge I don't follow the Doctor Strange book, every month. But
I just noticed
that's crazy.
I just noticed it because I have the trades and I have all the issues, and then I looked at my digital collection and I noticed number 20 was missing, and I'm like, what the hell is that? So then I went to look at the back issues because I'm a couple issues behind on Doctor Strange, and I'm flipping through and I see 19 and 18, but I can't find 20, and I'm like, well, where the fuck is 20? So then I look at the list and shit, it's coming out next week, and no explanation, no release
like
or anything.
A mini panic attack, like oh fuck, I forgot to buy an issue. Like
so I started looking for it everywhere frantically on Amazon, on Google, and then there's no news about it. It just happened this way, I guess. It's crazy. Friggin' Doctor Strange, and I like Doctor Strange. Bachelot and Aaron's run is real fun, and the art is just crazy. It kind of fits. Bachelot style fits that weird,
I read
dirty
the
world.
first 12 issues, and I liked it a lot. I was like, okay, this is just a good point to stop reading. You know, like it was an end to that first giant story. So I didn't stop buying it because I didn't like it anymore. I just needed to trim some books back, and that was a victim. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that happens. That does happen. Sorry. I got one more. So this weekend, with no announcement or any forewarning, we got an amazing sale on Amazon with all kinds of digital trades going for super cheap. I saw like Darth Vader, the first like all 4 volumes for like $1.20 or $1.80 a piece, and Old Man Logan for like $2.80. They had Dan Slott's whole entire run on Superior Spider-Man for $15. His whole run on Silver Surfer, $15 so far. You know, up until this last trade that's going to be coming out. And I saw a Bleeding Cool reported on it, and they had all kinds of crazy testimonials with people with their Twitter photos of like their library just filled with cheap.
I snagged well, not what some of those people were doing. I didn't spend $100, but I spent $25 and I got fucking, I don't know, the entire Scarlet Spider saga, and I got Planet Hulk.
That's
and that cost me $20. So that's $6
saga,
right there. You know?
That Clone Saga is like 2,000 pages. So
I'll be reading that till the end of my life, pretty much, trying to understand and comprehend that book. But that's it for your new. I just found 2 little tidbits here I found interesting. One was Spider-Man related, so of course I'm mentioning it. But Spider-Man first appearance sale price went for $200. I want to get this amount right. $261,000. It was like an 8.0 grade. So that's one of those goddamn books you can't even like open up and look at. You know what I'm saying? Like
I could tell you,
I would rather buy $2 fucking reprint, The True Believer, and check it out, see what's actually inside of it, than own a book I'll never be able to look at. But
my comic book store had a 3.0. I think it was like a 3.0 grade, and I think he sold it for like 20-30 grand. Like
that's fucking. A 3.0, beat the shit.
Yeah, beat the shit. Yeah, it was 10 times less than
there's a giant coffee stain, right in the middle of the book or something.
Just a little beat around the edges and worn down over time, like the paper, different color.
All nasty. Yeah, it smells just like moldy basement. And then the last thing was, I think we misunderstood this news story. That's why I wasn't even going to bring it up. But then I started skimming it while you were talking. And I guess it is kind of worth mentioning because it is not we were talking about Venomverse, right?
Yeah.
The upcoming series. It's like a 5-issue miniseries where everybody gets a little bit of the symbiote, and I guess shit hits the fan. Well, apparently after that there is this Edge of Venomverse happening. So it's a separate event from the Venomverse happening next month. Or at the end of this month.
So they're gonna do like a Venomverse, like Spider-Verse, like there's gonna be all different alternate versions of Venom.
That's what I see going on here. And there's a giant devil dino, fucking symbiote in the background, bunch of different colored chick symbiotes. One's blue. The Venom with like 20 heads. That was like a story from I think the 90s. Just some crazy shit going on there. So any of you Venom fans, I'm a kind of a Venom fan. The events, I don't know how much Venom events are going to hold my attention, but I'll keep an eye on it and see if it's any good.
It sounds like fun. I'll check it out.
I'm sure one or 2 of these issues will be popping up on the Madness future episodes. So You got that to look forward to in August, I guess, in September.
I see these designs, this Ed McGuinness design, and they look pretty cool. I see the Gwenpool one and the Hulk one and the Logan Venom. I was like, that's pretty cool.
I'm a sucker for that Gwenpool shit. I'm one of the people to blame for that being around. So it's really fucking good story. It really is. Well, maybe we'll get one of those on here one of these days too, if I can talk. I guess that falls under Carl's section, or because she's not a mutant or anything. That wouldn't. She's not an Inhuman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We'd have to harass him to talk about that.
Somehow you could relate it to Spider-Man, though, because, they have the Spider-Man Deadpool book and the Deadpool Gwenpool and Gwen Stacy Spider-Man, right?
Like fucking, that's some 20 degrees of separation there. But
I think you might be able to pull that off. I think so. It's Gwen Stacy, right? There's a Spider-Gwen book. She kind of falls under the Spider-Man umbrella. You could totally do that book, dude.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Gwenpool isn't. She makes it always clear. I'm not a Deadpool. That's just her real name. Gwenpool is her name.
She's from our universe, right? And she lives in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, that's the story we're actually finding out right now. I just actually finished reviewing 16. I got to post it when we're done with this.
I like the idea of that. It sounds so cool.
Yeah, like she the idea she got at the end of issue 15 was, because she's without her family or anything, like, and everybody's kind of got a doppelganger in this universe to her old universe. She decided to go check on her house and see who's there. So this new issue was her brother answered the door at the end of 15, and she runs into her brother, and he pulls her through this dimensional portal, and some shit starts happening. So it's kind of like you're finding out the origins of Gwenpool currently right now after like a year and a half. So it's pretty cool. It's cool. Been grabbing the hell out of my attention. And every time I'm always like, maybe this is a book I'll drop. And then I read it again and I'm like, nah, I like it too much.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those. So
I got to check that out. I got to download some copies.
Yeah, it's fun. It's funny as hell. You'll laugh out loud a couple times each issue. But with all that being covered, we're going to get into the books here. And this week we're going to kick it off. Usually we kind of end with my segment in the spider section of things. So we're going to switch it up, and we're going to do that first. So we're going to kick it off with Spider-Gwen number 20 here. And what I have been noticing lately is a lot of Marvel titles are higher numbers than they used to be. You know what I'm saying? With the exception of X-Men shit coming out. So I like to see that, personally, as a comic fan. I like high numbers. They don't scare me like some other people. It just means I got shit to read behind,
Yeah, it's cool.
I like doing it. I don't understand what people's big problem is with it.
I think you feel like it's a part of something big, like a huge story, like 625. Like imagine like the whole entire story of 625 issues. Like that's insane. That's awesome. I can't.
Yeah. Like you don't have to read the 60s shit. You know what I'm saying? Like jump in somewhere in like the late 90s and the early 2000s and start from there, because most of that 60s and silver and golden age stuff doesn't count for much anymore.
No, and some of it's hard to read anyway. So because people don't talk like that.
You drive yourself fucking nuts reading that. Anyway, Spider-Gwen 20 here. We got a short solicit, short creative team. So we'll get right into this pretty quick here for you guys. Our solicit is simply, who is Earth 65 Wolverine? The end. And we're going to find out that and some more. Me and Trevitt have a whole lot of questions for each other about Spider-Gwen that probably nobody will be able to answer. We're maybe leaning on Carl to pull us through on this one. Carl, where are you? But I don't know if he reads this book either. So with all that covered, it's written by Jason Latour. We got art by Robbie Rodriguez, and that's it. That's your creative team right there. It's not even a letterer credited on the solicit site anyway. I think it is in the book though. Clayton Cowles, there it is, VC. So I should have just said that.
Clayton Cowles.
It's never anybody else really. But me and Trevor again are Spider Gwen versions. So we're gonna do our best here for you. I like Gwenpool, not Spider Gwen. There's a difference there, believe it or not.
Big difference.
And it's tough with this book. Like you and me talked earlier about how the Old Man Logan catch-up page was like clutch. Even if you forget what happens, you read that, and you're caught up on everything. This one is a little more vague, and it's kind of like paneled out, like Valiant does a little bit, and it's tough to kind of get the gist of what's going down here. It
really is.
You follow my drift there?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, so I mean, I know that Matt Murdock is essentially like the kingpin in this world. So that's the first thing. She used to date Peter Parker, just like on our Earth, and Peter died trying to get powers. He was jealous of her powers, basically, and it turned himself into the Lizard and ended up, having the tragic death like Spider-Gwen had in our universe. So she does this hero thing to kind of to live up to, Peter's mantra of with great power comes great responsibility, that whole spiel. There's something going down with Ann Osborn. I think it's the kid Osborn, not the dad Osborn, right?
Yeah.
And then there's some symbiote shit going down as well. What? I have no idea. that thing.
I don't know what the fuck that thing is.
Me either. So
it's like a plant or something.
Yeah, we kicked this issue off, and Spider-Gwen is chasing Osborn across the rooftops of Madripoor. She eventually catches up with him and like tackles him into this car. Huge impact, crushes the car. Spider-Gwen looks so weird without her hood off, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does.
It's so off-putting to me whenever her hood falls off. But
it was like an alien.
that's exactly it. Like, you nailed it. She looks like just a creepy alien. But anyway, she's like, "Why are you running from me?" And he's all like, "I'm not running from you. I'm running from him." One of those, And they both turn around, and there's Earth 65 Wolverine. He's a little more bombastic than I would say the Wolverine we all know and love, wearing like orange cowboy hats and just bright colors.
Well, our old Wolverine used to not orange cowboy hats, but he used to wear cowboy hats, but not orange like this.
Yeah, this is like, next
with
level.
A purple tongue.
Yeah, this is next level shit here. He starts going right after Spider-Gwen, assuming she's with Harry, and he wants after Harry for some reason. I don't. Did you pick up on it?
Yeah, he wants after Harry because he works for S.H.I.E.L.D. and they want to take him because of his lizard mutation.
Yes. So this lizard mutation is the same thing Peter fucked with and ended up dying from. Harry's got it in him now, but it doesn't look like it's taken, total control of him. It's just one arm at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's got some sort of enhanced abilities too, like he's running across fucking rooftops, so he's got to be, some sort of jumping ability or something there.
I think he can turn into the lizard because when I don't know who it is. I wanted to say Shadowcat, I guess she's called here, but I wanted to say like X-23, but he called her Kitty. Wolverine called her Kitty, but the Shadowcat of this universe with the Wolverine claws, he said, go ahead and do it. You don't know what kind of monster I'm going to turn into. So I'm guessing if he has like some kind of extreme reaction to something, he might pop into a full lizard, but I don't think he can maybe not do it willingly.
Right. So yeah, Travis filling in some blanks here for me. Wolverine is working for S.H.I.E.L.D. They've sent him to get Harry. Spider-Gwen's helping Harry try to escape. And to get the one up on Wolverine and get out of this situation, she has a team of ninjas on her, on her back. So that buys them some time when they fill Wolverine full of arrows. That won't keep Wolverine down very long, and he has a good track record, at least on 616 Earth, of fighting ninjas. So
yeah, because he's a samurai,
Yeah. These ninjas aren't going to slow him up too much. So while he's encased by ninjas, basically circled by him, we decide now is the best time for a flashback and kind of fill us in on this Wolverine's origins, which is, I'll say this about it, regardless of the quality of the issue, they don't make you wait for this. You know what I'm saying? Like they could totally drag this shit out, make you buy 3 issues to get the full origin of this Wolverine. And I like the fact that they're just like, here you go. Here's what happens. Here's how he turned into this
pretty cool.
This version of Wolverine.
Like they just dedicate a whole splash page to a backstory, and it works.
It's super effective. Basically, Wolverine, died in a prototypical samurai battle with honor. But this magic witch lady gave him some potion. So instead of like heal, I guess this is how he got his healing factor.
Yeah, she cursed him. So for like,
for every life he took, he had to
live a lifetime.
Was it another day or another year?
It was another lifetime. So every a day. Oh no, and a day.
Is it a day?
Yeah, it's a day for every life he takes.
Okay, yeah. Maybe. And every life he continues to take. So every time he kills someone, another day gets added on. And his head count must have been fucking high, yeah.
and he went through the Weapon X program, and they somehow, I guess somehow this made him immortal. Like they're just, I mean, it's kind of a little faulty, but it made him immortal. And he went, the Weapon X program took him and erased his memory. That kind of regular origin after.
Yeah, a lot reminiscent but slightly different of the Wolverine we all know and love's origin, So what happens here? Well, go ahead, man. Sorry.
I was gonna ask you a question. So I'm guessing, or I'm asking that this lady with the eye patch, is that like the female Nick Fury of this Earth 65?
Yeah, that's exactly. They're not very subtle with their hints as to who's mock, a mock of who, essentially. Not mock like make fun of, but like they make it very easy to tell who's who. Daredevil still has the red glasses, even though he's quote unquote Kingpin. There's shit like that. And Punishers, I think. So I might just be talking out my ass here, but I want to say Punisher is the chief of police, or there's something crazy like that going on, like twists like that. So back to, out of the flashback, back to Madripoor, Spider-Gwen's trying to piece together with Osborn what the hell's going on here. And that's when this chick version of a Wolverine shows up. Shadowcat, they call her. And that's Kitty Pryde's name, right? Like one of her many nicknames.
When she was with Excalibur, she went by Shadowcat.
Yeah,
so might have an X-Men too, but I thought it started in Excalibur.
I don't know if this is supposed to be Earth 65 Kitty Pryde or an Earth 65 X-23 or amalgam of both. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either. It's just so weird. And Wolverine, like Logan, calls her Kitty. He says, I love you, Kitty. But like, so is that Kitty Pryde? Is Kitty Pryde the Wolverine of like the Laura of this universe? I guess.
I think next time we cover a Spider-Gwen book, we need to find in the Get Fresh crew somebody that's like a Batman Beyond Mark, except for the Spider-Gwen fucking universe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because this one's tough to talk about when you're like, I think this is that person and this is what happened. But anyway,
like, that's why I'm curious. Is she new, or is she just part of the same like the Weapon X program found another person who could heal or not die, and they gave her claws just like they did Logan? I have no clue, but speculation.
Wolverine shows up, still full with arrows. He's feeling fine though. He don't want to take him out. He looks pretty badass with him in anyway. and he starts fighting Shadowcat. So they get into it.
Fighting over the kill.
Yeah, they're just gonna kill each other over who gets to kill the the goddamn Osborn or bring them in, whatever the hell they're arguing over. And then we get back to a scene with this Daredevil. Now we haven't really seen him this issue. This is the first time, so this is obviously a threaded story going on throughout. He stops at District Attorney Foggy P. Nelson's office. I'm sure they have some sort of history, whether they used to be friends as kids that went their separate ways. One went the law way and one went the unlawful way. Might be what happened. Again, we're all speculating.
Yeah.
But what are they talking about here? I mean, something about George Stacy and Spider-Gwen's powers, right?
And Frank Castle, though they're talking about, well, Foggy's talking about like a connection between Stacy's and Spider-Woman and Castle to the Stacy's. Yeah. Is Frank Castle the mayor, or is he the commissioner or something, or is he like the mayor or something? I don't know what he is in this universe, but I guess he's someone important.
Yeah, the Stacy's and the Castles are basically the topic of conversation here. Daredevil wants him out of the way is the gist of it. He wants fucking control. And then he leaves that office and he hops in this car, and he is talking to this chick that's blathering on about the this venom plant thing.
Yeah, her research.
What the fuck is going on in this book, dude?
And did you see her name?
Any idea?
Her name was Dr. Brock.
Oh, so okay, she's the Eddie Brock. All right.
It'd be great if her name was Edna.
It's all coming back.
Edna Brock.
So they're up to some nonsense with a symbiote, which is never good news for anybody. And I'm betting dollars to donuts this Brock chick ends up with it all over her face, so to speak.
Yeah, maybe they're setting up a old school Venom story for Spider-Woman, maybe.
And then tell me if you get this cliffhanger with the fucking 20-sided die, because I'm not a Dungeons and Dragons dude. I never picked up a 20-sided die. What
Me
are
neither.
they about this fucking dice for?
I have no fucking clue.
Jesus Christ.
No idea. But I have to say, the art was the best on these last 4 panels.
Yeah. The art went back and forth for me. Like, there's really some good pages, but like then there's this page where Matt Murdock and Foggy Nelson are talking, and the colors get all shitty, and like there's just the detail isn't in the work.
Yeah. Murdock's face looks all fucked up.
Yeah. It goes back and forth. Like some pages like looked stunning. Like Rodriguez. Is Rodriguez the one with the eye issue?
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about shit about him.
I don't know. I don't know anything about him. The only book I've ever seen him draw is this book that I've ever seen.
I don't. We'll look that up and we'll address it later. But just as an overall feeling for me, from that book and just the way it ended, like was such a strange fucking cliffhanger, a 20-sided die. Like they were, like it was a grenade or something. I don't know what the hell it is. I liked seeing the Earth 65 Wolverine, there were cool things in this book, but it not cool enough to make me buy and follow it from this point forward. Maybe at the next jumping on point or the next story arc. So some of the Daredevil shit with him being a bad guy interests me, but this whole nonsense with Harry Osborn and some symbiote running around, there's just like a lot of threads going on here, and it's not new reader friendly really. So for me, it's a tough call. I can see the appeal in it, but right now, just picking up one issue and having to judge it on those merits alone, I guess it's a forget it altogether for me personally. I don't know. I that's a conflicted call for me to say that, because I did like probably about half the art and the way things are done and stylized, and the characters, but not enough to want to buy the next issue and come back for more. I guess that's where I'm at. How about you?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, I like the cover art. Cover art's pretty dope, actually. But like I said, like half the time I did like the art. I wasn't. The story, like it's not really new reader friendly, and I the opening synopsis didn't really help me. And I got the feeling that there was this incredible history behind this book. Like if I went back and maybe read it from like, where did it start in Spider-Verse, like all the way up until now, maybe a lot of it would make more sense, because I get the feeling like a lot of pretty good world building went on, and a lot of thought went into putting together characters from the 60s, like making alternate, like mock versions of the characters from the 60s.
I love learning about those different characters too. Like,
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Just the different twists and turns, and like we're just thumbing through the issue for like my second or third time, and we're still spotting names and shit and stuff.
And I really enjoyed the Logan history lesson. What was it called? He's immortal, the Murder Hands, Mr. Murder,
Murder Hands. Yeah,
I love Mr.
Murder Hands. Yeah.
That was great.
Good. Yeah, that was good.
I could tell it's a pretty fun book, and I can tell why it's been around for a while, but it's not reader friendly, like you said, and it didn't make me want to hop on it, even though I could tell that like I would enjoy this book, but I read so many right now. It's just, this is not going to push its way onto my list of so many. But I'm basically disclaiming my way into a forget it altogether, because I'm not saying it's a bad book. I'm just saying that it's not for me right now. I don't have the time for it, and
I know I almost feel bad saying forget it altogether, because
me too.
I don't know. That's just where I'm at with it.
But I don't want to say it's a borrow, because it's not new reader friendly. So if you're not reading the series, it's definitely not a borrow, and it's not a buy, because I'm not going to buy it. But I'd say, you just forget it altogether, because you got to go back and read all this history, and it's not that it's a bad book. It's just too much to take on right now. But
it's some work. It's some work. I don't have time for it right now.
It's not a jumping on point right now. Maybe the next 2 issues, this arc ends, and then we can say, you know what, this is a book that you should borrow. But right now, it's not there.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I was almost gonna. You almost some of your points almost talked me into changing it to a borrow. I'm like, like the Murder Hands thing alone almost makes it
so there's a lot of cool stuff.
That was funny, but anyway, our forgotten soldier, so to speak, Carl, couldn't make it this week, but he did send notes along, so I wanted to share his thoughts and let him know we're thinking about him, Carl, even though he couldn't make it. For Spider-Gwen, he did rate it as a borrow. He said he did like the art decent enough, but issue 20 was hard to follow, so he kind of echoed our sentiments there. He said, I enjoyed the story because of the action, but it was just one you can put down and just kind of forget about what happened, which is exactly what fucking happened to me, like trying to sum it up and go back through it.
Sounds like he liked it. Felt about it just the way we did, but he listed it as a borrow.
Yeah, that's pretty much his thoughts. Yeah, he's like, not enough in here to buy, but not wrong enough to forget it altogether.
I agree with that.
I'm with them there too. I mean, I don't want to just reserve forget it altogether though for like the worst type of books that we read, like
because it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad book. It just means it's not the right time for this book. So definitely
it's not a forget it altogether Generation X, which is a different category altogether right now.
That's a forget it altogether. Like fuck it, like seriously, fuck it. Don't even think
about I'm never reading another comic again. Fucking goddamn step on my shoes. I'm gonna
poor Christina Strain, because like her Mockingbird was pretty good, so it's like I feel bad. Like this is just not a
the Columbus the Columbus guys like it. I think Ryan is the one that does that review.
Yeah. He
He's
didn't hate
enjoyed
it.
it, but I mean, that was some rough stuff. Anyway, with Spider-Gwen out the way, that's going to bring us to our hero section of the night, and that is going to be a Secret Empire tie-in. And actually, I keep saying this every time we read one of these first issue tie-ins to Secret Empire, but I think this one took my favorite Secret Empire tie-in spot away from Secret Warriors #1 so far.
Yeah,
and that is Doctor Strange 21. And Trevitt did mention, because I have in my notes here, where the fuck is issue 20? Trevitt, you did mention that in your news, and you said Aaron must just got a little late putting that one to print when this tie-in event had to fit into schedule. So Doctor Strange is Carl's book. He did send his notes along, so me and Trevor will tag team this one and kind of run through what he's got here and you know what we saw in the book, because it was a entertaining read, and it takes place if you're reading Secret Empire in the Dark Force dimension, which we haven't really shed too much light on. There was a brief scene in Secret Empire 2 about it.
Yeah, with Iron Fist and Luke Cage with the medication and the pharmacy and all that with Kingpin.
Yeah. I was just trying to remember what book that was in, because some of these that we're reading now are starting to blend in together with each other, because there's like a couple each week, and we're reading them, trying to keep up. So it gets confusing once in a while. But we got Doctor Strange 21. He's got the solicit here. I keep mixing up what notes I'm on. Again, Secret Empire tie-in. New York City is under attack by dark forces, and only Doctor Strange has a shot at saving it, but it's quite a long shot. And welcome new ongoing writer Dennis Hopeless, who did some all-new X-Men, Spider-Woman, Jean Grey, and artist Nico, I'm going to butcher this name, and I apologize, Henriken?
Henrikon. I say Henrikon.
Okay, Pride of Baghdad and some New Mutants he's got credited to his name. So yeah, Doctor Strange is stuck in the Dark Force dimension. We get a quick little intro here. If you're not aware of Doctor Strange's current predicament, the magic in the Marvel Universe is kind of like in a fucked situation right now.
Yeah, it's scarce.
Yeah, they have to basically hunt down totems and things that contain magic within them, because they can't use spells the way they used to, like just summon things willy-nilly. Pretty much like old Doctor Strange was known to do. You know what I'm saying? Whoop, you all right over there?
I dropped my mic. Sorry.
I thought that dog came leaping through the window and finally went for your damn throat.
No, fucking dog. Oh my god, I hate those goddamn dogs.
So Doctor Strange is basically on a quest here, stuck in this Dark Force dimension, to get everyone the fuck out of here, because conditions are not good. He mentions right off the bat on the first page that he likes to relax in a bath, kind of like, thinking man, he says, in a bath you just get to chill, basically, is his comparison.
Really like that.
Yeah, it was pretty wild because I do think like way too much when I'm in the shower.
Yeah, it's so true.
And then I get out and I forget about everything I was fucking thinking about, but I was thinking in there, I swear.
But when you're in the tub, you're just relaxing and like soaking. It's kind of nice. Peaceful.
Then we get to the gross part of his story where he's like, I haven't had a bath in 2 fucking weeks. Man. I'm gross.
And the art really does look grimy. Like he really does look like dirty.
Yeah, he looks like he hasn't bathed in 2 weeks, and he's fighting like these goo fucking monsters. Like these things are. I'm trying to think what that reminds me of, and it reminds me of Slither. You know that like monster that was in the bedroom of Slither.
Yeah.
That's what that reminds me of right there. If anyone knows that cheesy horror movie Slither
with Nathan Fillion. Oh, who made that movie? I think it was someone who made a big movie now. Fuck, I can't remember.
That James Gunn. Is that a James Gunn movie?
I think it is a James Gunn movie. I think you're right. I think it's James Gunn.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed that movie when I was little. I haven't watched it in forever, but I know Eric might like it too. Anyway, back to Doctor Strange fighting the monster from Slither. He has this enchanted hatchet in his hand, and he goes right for its head. Thwocks it off. As you see, the sound effect even sounds nasty. And he does he fuck the hatchet up here? I can't tell.
Yeah, he breaks the hatchet. Because he's been chopping.
It looks a little weird in the bottom corner, like the panel I'm looking at, but it does. It like breaks.
He's chopping off. And it broke into like the friggin' the sharp part just broke off because he's chopped so many things in half.
He's probably had to use the shit out of this thing,
and
especially lately.
It's a mystical axe, and you know he kind of, and it's cool because it does explain. You know, he says magic isn't what it once was. There's no more Eye of Agamotto. He's like, there's no cloak of levitation. Didn't I think the cloak of levitation got torn up in the early
the first 12 issues. It got
I think it was number 6 or 7.
Yeah, all his like magic stuff was being taken. Like he'd try to use spells and they wouldn't work. And yeah, I forget what that dude's name was. It was basically like a God Butcher type story, but for Doctor Strange almost.
Yeah,
you know
someone who despised magic like Gore despised the gods and wanted to like rid the world of it.
Yeah, it was a lot like that. Ironically, a Jason Aaron fucking story. There you go.
Yeah. Makes total sense.
Yep, it's all coming together now. Anyway, Doctor Strange, when he cuts this thing's head off, the room like starts filling with this black blood goo. And he pops this swan feather in his mouth to get him out of here. It looks like he's in a drugstore.
I think he is. Yeah, I think he is in a drugstore. Personal health.
Like carrying through that. Either he was looking for soap to take a bath, or they're still looking for like penicillin and fucking meds for the just citizens. Like everybody needs them, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what he's flying up towards, but to me, he comes flying out of an asshole. I don't know about you, man.
Like a square all shit flew out.
Like even he comes squeezing out of this like esophagus. I don't know what he's coming out of. And it's just like squirt as it closes as he comes squeaking out of it. I guess it is an esophagus. The asshole can't be connected to somebody's mouth.
Oh yeah, because then you see the tongue when he gets out of there.
So I guess that's what happened. I don't know. Some people's assholes connected directly to their mouth, if you ask me.
I've never seen it. I don't think esophagus can they close? Can they close? I feel like don't you get
I don't know. This is some magic monster. He just cut a head off of it and he flew up. So I don't know where he really is right now.
I think it was like a monster inside a monster. Like maybe something that the big monster ate.
So this big monster ate like a building with some pharmaceuticals in it.
Because think about it, he ends up flying out of a giant monster's mouth, and he rides out on a tooth.
yeah, you're right. So he must have been fighting some monster in this monster's gut.
Yeah.
And this thing is it looks like a giant hamster gone wrong, really.
It really does. It looks like a giant, ugly ass hamster with
flying on that tooth. I was laughing reading that, and you can see like the spot in the monster where the tooth came flying out,
and it ate the pharmacy. So
now it all makes sense. Yeah,
and that's why there was all that pharmacy
here. Yeah,
and he went in there just to get like Gatorade and snacks to get provisions because there's nowhere to get food.
He's got peanuts, chips. He starts chugging a Gatorade. He's like this vile sugar water, electrolytes be damned. He don't give a shit about that.
It was really cool.
And then we flash away from Doctor Strange, and we check in on Daredevil, Spider-Woman, and some third party. I don't know who the hell this dude is.
It's Ben Urich.
Oh, okay.
Spider-Man.
There we go. Didn't he die in Daredevil season 1 on Netflix? Isn't that Ben Urich? The like reporter.
Think so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Just so I know who we're talking about.
Put that connection together. I totally
Yeah.
forgot about that. It's been a while since I've seen season 1 of Daredevil.
Yeah, Daredevil, the Daredevil Netflix things are the things I remember the best out of those TV shows. Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a blur to me at this point.
Unfortunately, I
Jessica
remember
Jones, and Luke Cage, and Iron Fist, I kind of watched while my phone or tablet was also on my lap, so.
I remember Jessica Jones because it had Doctor Who in it, and I love David Tennant, and he did such a great job as Purple Man.
Yeah, so somebody asked me what I rated those the other day, and I said Daredevil season 1 and 2 as 1 and 2, and then I go Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and they're like, "Really, you like Luke Cage better?" I don't know. I like the action better in Luke Cage. It was just a little more to it, especially in the beginning. It slowed down bad at the end, but
yeah, they were different shows. They were really different shows.
Yeah,
the Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. Jessica Jones was a little darker,
Yeah.
And then Luke Cage had a totally different vibe. It had that Harlem, New Jack City kind of vibe, like pretty dope. I like that.
Where are we at here? Oh yeah, the
Spider-Woman, Daredevil, and Ben Urich climbing up.
They're climbing this building to
Empire State Building.
Has this happened in any other book that you've read, or we just kind of join them in progress on this mission?
We're joining them in progress on this mission. And you know what? This is like the most we've seen from the Dark Force dimension so far, aside from what we've seen. I mean, we've seen some stuff in Secret Empire, but we haven't seen the real struggle, like a story of people struggling through it.
Yeah. Yeah, so they get to the top of, I'm fuzzy on my buildings here. Are they in Empire State?
Yeah, Empire State.
Okay, they're in Empire State Building, kind of fighting off some monsters on the way up it.
They're trying to make it to the Sanctum Sanctorum, which is somehow in the middle of the building.
Yeah, the Hydra, one of the Hydra magic people.
As Baron Mordo. Yeah, Baron Mordo.
He has gotten Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum out of its rightful spot and somehow firmly in penthouse territory on the goddamn Empire State Building. Daredevil is kind of the first one up there, and he mentions how there's like some force shield around it, but they can penetrate it.
Yeah, there's a magical force like protection spell around it, but there's a hole, there's an opening in the window, and he can sense it, which is pretty cool with his sonar.
Yeah, he sees the hole, goes jumping through the window like a maniac, and sees this magic spitting orb in the middle of the room he just entered. He's like, "Oh, I'll just chop this in half."
Pulls out his sword.
I didn't know Daredevil was carrying a sword. Does he do that? You read the Daredevil book, right?
Yeah. No, he doesn't carry a sword ever, really. But he knows how to use one.
Love his black suit, though. The black with the red is so much cooler to me than the bright red fucking suit for kind of like a ninja going through the night,
Yeah, most definitely. It's way cooler.
I would like to see, the next Daredevil suit in the TV show kind of be a little like this one.
Like this one, yeah. There was a cool 2 issues ago, not the last issue, but the issue before, there was this cool scene where he was like having this conversation with Purple Man, and he was in a bar, and there were like 10 different versions of Daredevil, all with different costumes, and there were some pretty sweet costume designs in that bar. So plays on this one and stuff like this one, but like more armored, pretty cool.
He's one of my, believe it or not, my Marvel blind spots. We'll get to that at the end there because Carl wants to do Daredevil for next week for his book. But you guys are going to really have to baby me through that because I don't know much about my Daredevil knowledge comes straight from the fucking TV show and the Ben Affleck movie. I mean, that is my Daredevils.
I have a decent amount. So, and I read the series. I've read all 20 issues so far. So
yeah. Well, Daredevil, like the dumbass he is for trying to chop this magic orb in half, gets stuck in it.
Like a dope, like seriously. Whoops.
This exchange of events that Daredevil goes through in his mind really makes me think a little less of him as a hero here.
I know.
Like, I'll just chop this in half. Oh, I'm stuck like an idiot.
I I think he thinks that it's like a power source of like what's controlling the Sanctum Sanctorum being in the Empire State or something.
Yeah, and then this sets Baron Mordor off. He's like, I don't even believe you fell for that. That was really, he even comments like how we did sarcastically about what a dumbass Daredevil is.
It's
and
a
then
cool sword,
starts,
too.
yeah, so he takes the sword, starts kind of taunting Spider-Woman and Ben Urich, who are trying to beat this giant monster to death with a bat. Doctor Strange, we check back in with him. He's unknowingly just kind of chilling down in some alley, and we find out he's making up a witch's brew.
Which is pretty cool that he like I like this idea of magic because Charles Soule's exploring the same kind of thing in Curse Words right now where there is magic in everyday life, like because you believe it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like they got a rabbit foot here, and the rabbit foot has a dark past. Like it doesn't even have to be good magic, you know what I'm saying?
No,
like
yeah.
This rabbit foot has killed three different people's keychains that it's been on,
or a prized possession of a 3-year-old boy because it's his prized possession. It's magical to him, and because it's magical to him, it has magic in it. It's practical magic.
And then first meal of a couple shared in their new home, things like that. He throws it all in this garbage can and lights it up.
With the gift of fire. There's even magic in fire.
Yeah. So then he does kind of do a little bit of spell shit to this witch's brew, which basically makes it erupt. Now, I didn't get what was going on here at first, but kind of looking back over through things, he's trying to blow up the shield around he knows his sanctum is up there and he's trying to get it back. That's his goal, right?
Yeah, that's his goal.
Or is he trying to blow a hole through the dark force?
I think he's trying to kill the monster that's wrapped around the building so he can get into the Sanctum Sanctorum. Because the monster is really the majority of the battle there. I mean, you got to get past that before you can get.
See, I thought he was pissed. See, that's why I thought he was pissed, is that he hit the monster. Because I thought he was initially trying to help the heroes that were stuck. But I don't think he has any idea they're up there. And he's trying to blow a hole in the Dark Force dome.
Oh, yeah, he is trying to blow
this distraction Spider-Woman and Urich cause
it can kill the monster.
Yeah, kind of like directing his wave to the monster. The monster basically gets in the way of the shot.
Had it backwards.
Yep. So the monster's toast, but this leads to like some bickering between Spider-Woman and Doctor Strange, which is pretty. I liked it. I usually don't like that shit in comics, but I mean, I do, but I don't. But they really towed the line here, and they nailed it. Hopeless did. But there's just another fucking monster. Is this the same monster? They just burnt skin off of it, basically.
Yeah, and transformed it.
Yeah. So they made it even more ugly than it was.
The art looks great on this page where the monster's all big and the three of them are standing there. It's kind of like a cinematic scene. You see the limousines speeding through.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't know. Like, they kept showing this car. I'm like, who's in this damn car? Why do they keep showing us this car at first? And until I see it aimed for the back of this monster's head driving off the top of a parking ramp and direct shot. It was a pretty cool fucking that is a sweet action scene right there.
That is so awesome. And all like the goop coming up when the car goes in, and they're all wrapped up by the monster, and everything just looks great too.
They were fucked until this car saved their ass, essentially. So the monster hits the ground with a thud. Everybody's kind of like, who did that? We're safe. Ben Ulrich's like, I hate you both.
The funny part is they're still arguing.
yeah, they're still arguing. Spider-Woman and Doctor Strange.
The whole time.
This is sexual tension. They're just gonna bang later. As soon as they get out of here, they're just.
It's the whole time from like right when they're standing there and the limousine goes by. It goes up the parking garage. They get scooped up by the monster. The limousine goes in. They're arguing this whole time. It's so fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it was done really well. you know, a lot of people give Hopeless shit. I like this book a lot.
You know what? I'm starting to find out that Hopeless is actually a pretty damn good writer because
Yeah,
I like his
well,
Jean
compared
Grey.
to some of the other choices Marvel puts on some of these books, this
Yeah.
is, you know, well, we'll end the cliffhanger here, then we'll wax poetic about Hopeless for this issue. They are looking up towards the car with this monster, having it stuck in the back of its head, and they're like, "Are you alive up there?" That car must have been bulletproof, they mentioned, because it didn't, you know, basically evaporate from hitting this monster. And Wilson Fisk comes strolling out of there, and he keeps saving people's asses in this dark
He really
force
does.
dimension.
I think that's gonna might lead to something because we see it in the regular Secret Empire book. We saw it in a tie-in. Like,
Yeah,
he keeps saving people's asses and being like, "You owe me a favor. You owe me a favor." Yeah, like when's he gonna call in these favors? Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. He's up to no good. He's not really saying that yet because he's doing good deeds while he's, you know, securing favors for the future, basically.
Yeah.
So we'll
Like
see. We'll see what Kingpin's up to. I'm not really sure yet.
He's like, right as rain, Magic Man. The Sorcerer Supreme now owes me a favor.
Yeah. So that's it. That's buy, borrow, or forget it time for us. Why don't you go first while I pull up Carl's thoughts on this one, because he didn't include it in his notes. I got to go to Twitter here and get to my DMs and shit.
All right. Well, actually, I think I might have. Hold on.
There we go. I got it.
Okay, wait. Yeah, that's Secret Empire. That's not. Yeah, I don't see it. I see one for Cable. I see one for Spider-Man.
Yeah, he sent it to me on Twitter. I got it here.
Right.
So yeah, this is Carl's book. As far as Carl goes, he said bye, Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Where was it here? Fuck. I can't find it now. I know he said buy it. Just send it to you guys. Daredevil. Oh yeah. Yep. I forgot to put Doctor Strange was a buy. He said he didn't really detail any notes. So I was looking for a longer
Oh wait.
I was looking for a longer thing.
I think he emailed it to me. Here it is. Hopeless did a fantastic job turning this tie-in into a story that has me excited to have him on this book. The art was gritty, but for this issue, it made it perfect. In my opinion, best book that we covered this week.
Yeah. So
I agree.
Yeah, he was pretty spot on there. I would buy this one, especially after Spider. Like, I read these in order of how we're covering them this week. So I read Spider-Gwen first, and then I was like, oh man, that might kill some of my momentum about my mood to read, you know. And then I read this one next, and it was a good surprise for me personally.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot. It was a buy all the way around. The art was good. The story, like we said, Dennis Hopeless. To follow Jason Aaron's footsteps is probably a big task to follow. You know, I couldn't imagine the pressure of that. So
no,
he did a good job. And I don't know. I hate to say it makes me want to check out the next issue of a tie-in, but it kind of does.
it really
I'm usually
does.
against that sort of thing and that behavior, especially for an event I'm not in love with yet. But we'll see. So we got 2 books down. Spider-Gwen.
I didn't do mine yet. I gotta do mine.
My
bad.
We're hitting 145.
I just did what I did earlier.
I just dropped my mic.
Oh yeah,
buy, borrow, or forget this shit.
Well, I actually like. I read Doctor Strange, and I like the Jason Aaron run, and I was nervous about Hopeless. Like, I've never read anything mostly by him, but you know, the name alone, Hopeless, just doesn't inspire confidence. But
I know.
I'm finding, like, you know, I started with Jean Grey, and I really loved both issues, and then I went back and read some all new X-Men, like the first 8 issues, and I really liked it, and I like this here, and I really like Henricon's art. I think it fits Doctor Strange. It follows Chris Bachalo's art perfectly. It's still got that dirty, gritty, like, you really, like, you know, feel this world of Doctor Strange and what it's supposed to be, and Hopeless carried on perfectly. Like, I enjoyed this tie-in issue more than I've been enjoying the event that it's for. And
I've been doing that with a lot of the tie-ins for the event. Like, I pick them up begrudgingly, not buy them, but, like, you know, read them and review them with you guys. And I'm always just like kind of going into them like, I have no expectations for this. Let's see what happens. And then, at least the first issues of some of these tie-ins are at least grabbing my attention while I'm 4 issues really into the main book. And I'm like, what is going on in this book? I don't even fucking know. And it's not because it's too dense or complex. Like nothing's happening in 4 issues. So
no, not much has happened.
At least the side books are telling you.
Like a bunch of setup for stuff that I guess is gonna. I hope stuff starts to kick because I see Hank Pym showing up and
yeah. Well, here's my problem with
and
we'll get a little more into Secret Empire later, but like before we take a quick break for book 3, I'll say this: like this book has a problem with telling you things that have happened in the past, but never showing you. Like so. Falcon will tell you about all these people that died and why he's taking a stand and not helping out. But that would have been cool to fucking see. They don't show you any of
Well,
that.
that's the thing. That's the thing. You gotta this event, like for people who don't follow Captain America Steve Rogers and Captain America Sam Wilson, because I started reading Sam Wilson, you really kind of get a little bit left out in the cold because like it references a lot of like Spencer's, like, if you add both series together, it's almost like 37, 38 issues of story that led to this event.
But I think this one particular event Falcon is talking about, like when he's walking these guys through the woods in Secret Empire, he's talking about something that happened in between the period of
like the Vegas bombing.
Hydra taking over. Yeah.
We didn't get to see any of that.
Vegas bombing. Yeah, like shit that happened outside of Vegas and somewhere in the nation that's got him totally disenchanted that we'll never see in a comic book. And this is why he's not helping any heroes, and doing what he's doing now, but we'll never see it.
Actually,
and that would have been
it was the last issue of Captain America Sam Wilson before this Secret Empire started, like where he left the Captain America costume behind. That's why he is the way he is right now, and he's all disenchanted with everything because of the treatment he got for being Captain America and taking over the legacy. You know what I mean? Like, and what he tried to do, like he tried to do it differently than Steve Rogers did. Like what he stood for, was not really what Steve Rogers was standing for. And a lot of people, it turned a lot of people off, and and so much stuff happened with the AmeriCops and all that. So it's crazy. It's so much. That's why he's so disenchanted like that, because of all the things that happened to him over the course of Sam Wilson.
And I get it's like an amalgam of things, like a bunch of things added all up that's got him to this point. But there's like a scene, like an exact quote he references. He's talking about something.
I gotta check that
happened.
out.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it happened sometime in the point of Hydra taking over the United States in this time skip that we'll never see. What I'm telling you, that we're never going to see what
especially if you don't
about. Like, because he's talking about so many deaths that they're not going to show it in a comic.
He's gonna be the lead in one of the companion books, so maybe we might not see it, but then that's the thing though, because I mean, actually, let me, before I even say anything, we'll save that for the Secret Empire stuff. So Doctor Strange is definitely a buy for me. Like
so we got 3 buys for Doctor Strange, unanimous decision on that one. That's our first one of the night, and that'll bring us to our little mini break here, and we'll come back to some midpoint Marvelous Facts. Clap there.
Cable.
Do you need a quick little break?
Yeah, I gotta take a piss real quick. That'd be nice.
Back. I'm not even just gonna end this one. I'll just cut it all up later. Just keep it going.
Imagine you forget, and then it's like, I'm gonna take a piss real quick.
We'll power through this last one and just fucking do bye forget.
My notes are super, super quick for Cable because not a lot happened. Like there's not really anything to say. It's like a small paragraph. Yeah, very quick.
All right, I'll be back.
Oh boy. Narcos. All right. My phone's dying. Got Carl's notes on there.
That's right. I got him up.
Plug it in. All right. Cable.
I'll get my clap in here. All right. We are back here, guys. Quick little break there. Hope you enjoyed that little PSA we slide in there. You ever do you listen and hear those I put in?
Yeah, I heard the Will Smith one last week.
There was one the week before was my favorite. I found one about not letting strangers in your house. It was a G.I. Joe one with
oh man,
some adult calling some little kid on the phone.
Oh god, I missed those.
I hope people enjoy that as like a joke. Like I take it as a total joke.
Not a real
not
PSA.
really a PSA.
Even though it kind of is, but it's still a joke. So
yeah, they were a PSA back in 1981 when people actually called your house and it wasn't just telemarketers. You know what I'm saying?
They used to have the More You Know ones on NBC, and then they had
maybe that's what I'll find. They would have already heard it, but maybe that's what I'll find for this week. I think the Will Smith one was More You Know, actually.
Did it have Sergeant Slaughter with knowing is half the battle? Did do you remember that? They'd play like episode of G.I.
Maybe
Joe,
I'll find the Sergeant Slaughter one then. Yeah.
And then Sergeant Slaughter would talk afterwards.
Yeah. Oh shit. All right. Well, back to the midpoint marvelous facts here. We're here to share some facts. Usually Carl's duty. He sent them along for us to share on his behalf since he couldn't join us today. Due to him waking up in 2 more hours to go to work. So that's what he's got to look forward to.
Bummer. Sorry, Carl.
We would rather talk comics, and that's what we're doing. So we're here to cover Cable and Doctor Strange today because Spider-Gwen doesn't have much of a history to cover. So we got first appearances for you, and then I found some weird shit that I like to dig up on these certain characters. That's my type of stuff. We'll get to Doctor Strange first since we just covered him and we're leading to Cable. Doctor Strange, he had a first appearance that was in Strange Tales number 110. That's of July 1963. So if you want to hunt that one down, I'm sure it's not quite Spider-Man price range of $261,000, but sure, probably also not cheap with a movie that just came out either. They like to skyrocket when it happens. Anyway, the what the fuck fact I found for Doctor Strange is that his girlfriend, I don't know which one, I didn't care enough to look up the name, but his girlfriend once cheated on him, so he got cucked by Benjamin Franklin.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that is pretty good. I like that one. Anyway, we move on to Cable. He's got a convoluted history because he had a first appearance as Nathan Summers. That was in Uncanny X-Men 201 in January of 1986, and then officially listed as Cable in New Mutants number 87, March 1990. Now, these are Carl's facts, so if those are wrong, you can @ Carl Hamlin on Twitter because I did not check him on that Cable shit, and I know Cable. His history is fucked up to say the least. So
there's another version of Cable, but he's not Cable. His name is Nate.
That's
Nate Summers.
That's what I typed in Cable into the Marvel wiki, and there were like hundreds of different Cables that popped up. I'm like, nope, I'm out.
There's 2 really notable, foremost different versions of Cable. One is a clone of Cable named Strife, who has like intense psionic powers and psychic powers too. And there's another version, an alternate reality version of, but he was a character in the X-Men comics. His name's Nate Summers. He went by X-Man, and he was like an extremely powerful, like he was Cable that didn't get infected with the technovirus, because Cable is actually like an Omega level mutant, but the technovirus like strains his abilities, so takes the
That's why
cyborg
he uses the gun.
yeah. The cyborg parts of him and his abilities are like what hold him together, pretty much.
And Nathan, when he goes by Nathan Summers, isn't that Scott Summers' child, right? Scott and Jean's.
He's their son. I think he's the son. I don't know if it's Gene. I think it might be Madeline Pryor, who is like the Gene carbon copy. I think so.
Yeah, or maybe Gene doppelganger.
Yeah, because they have a bunch of kids. You know, Rachel and Hope is like their grandkid, but Hope is raised by Cable. I don't think Hope is actually related to them, but she might be. But you know, she's a redhead, but she was raised by Cable, considers Cable her father. So Hope Summers. There's so much history with that.
And
family.
Rachel Summers.
Yeah, Rachel Summers, who's an alternate reality.
Prestige now. That's the fucking worst name.
Yeah,
ever.
she's the daughter of Scott and Jean. Scott and Jean have like a lot of kids, or alternate reality kids, or future kids. She's from like I think an Age of Apocalypse future where she was like a slave.
Yeah. Fucking crazy. Well, we got a couple. Carl looked up something. He's got a trivia question for everyone out there. Not really a trivia question, but well, you can determine what it is. Carl writes down, Cable was accused of killing Professor X with the technovirus. To find out if Cable actually did that, he says, go read Executioner's Song, and that's the story you can find out if Cable is responsible for the death, one of many Professor X has had over the years.
Yeah, that was in the 90s, Executioner's Song, between X-Men and Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's one of the cheap books you can get right now, or parts of it.
It's from the Jim Lee era.
Amazon sale. And then my what the fuck fact I found on Cable is that he has an intellect they claim on par with that of Reed Richards, which may be superhuman, kind of part of his mutant ability. And then his height is 6'8". I thought that was pretty notable. Damn. I didn't know he was. They list him as that tall.
He's a fucking beast.
Yeah, and I only cared to mention that because Greg Capullo on Twitter the other day was like double checking the heights of everybody on the Justice League. So he like wanted to draw it all accurately. He's like, I want to know who's taller. You know, probably drawing them in a group shot. He didn't want to make anybody, you know, like Flash is supposedly the smallest, so he's 5'11", and that was the littlest I saw.
That makes sense. Wonder Woman's like 6'1", 6 feet tall, something like that.
Her and Bruce are the same. Superman 6'3", and Cyborg I think was like 6'5".
It was Aquaman. Aquaman and Hal. I think they're like over 6. They're definitely over 6. I think Aquaman's like 6'4".
I want to say all the guys, like Bruce was the smallest guy, which surprised me, I think.
Smallest out of the big guns.
Yeah, like height wise, he was like me, 6'1", somewhere in there. That's what they said. But anyway, those are our midpoint marvelous facts. I always have to look up that midpoint. I named it. I don't know why I have a goddamn problem remembering the name to the segment I came up with. The name.
That's funny.
Anyway, we're going to get back to these books. We're going to wrap this stuff up for you guys. Cable #1 is our next victim.
Yes.
And this is Trevitz, baby. You got the...
I got it all.
The solicit, yeah.
Yeah, I got the solicit.
Because it's pretty entertaining. I like the solicits.
It really is. So I got Cable sees the Mighty Mutant return on a brand new mission with all of time in the balance. When Cable picks up the trail of a threat in the time stream, he sets off on a high-speed, history-spanning chase to save reality as we know it, from prehistory to the modern day. Whether it's a 6-gun duel at high noon or a high-tech sword fight in an ancient land, Cable is the only man who can keep history from unraveling. Sounds way more interesting than the actual.
Yeah. You missed the best part. On Comixology, they have walk softly and carry a big gun to start the whole fucking solicit off. That was the best awesome. Part.
I didn't have that on mine. I got mine from Newsarama.
That's the best part. So, take it from there. You let us know what the hell goes on in Cable 1, because I don't really know what goes on in Cable 1, except that it looks pretty.
My notes kind of go with how I was feeling about the book. Like, oh my god, come on! Like, no friggin'
I know. Alex M wanted us to cover this one for Marvel Minute. We didn't.
He really liked it.
We didn't get to do that, so we'll let him.
No.
At least he might enjoy our summary of the events of the book. We'll
Lucky
see.
I chose it
He
this
can let
week.
us know how we did.
You're lucky, Alex. All right. So here we go. So we start off in a saloon in Novaline, Arizona, in the year 1874. It's nice. It looks, it looks real nice. Looks like your typical Western setup in any movie. We got a bunch of criminals around a poker table, and they're popping shit about how they should stay in town because all the townspeople are bitches and they're not going to say shit.
Yeah, this just reminds me of Westworld, 100%.
Yeah, because then you
Like
see
this
like a
scene.
future version of this dude. Like Cable just pops in the bar, opens the saloon thing. I don't know what those are called. What are those called? Those two swinging doors.
I don't know. Gate doors. I don't know what that's not what they're called, but
Gate doors. They could do the gate door. Yeah. Saloon gate door or something. Like
yeah. The standard saloon doors in every Western movie ever.
But all right, here we go. So yeah, then Cable walks in and shit gets crazy, and these guys just automatically like pull out their guns, like fuck this guy.
Like purple plasma blasters.
Yeah, purple plasma blasters that they shouldn't have in this time period, but like that's part of the story, but that not that you get any information on it. So they pull out these guns, and Cable's like, I've seen bigger. and he just kicks the shit out of everybody. Everything gets crazy. He kicks the shit out of these guys, and then you get your credits page.
He kills them all but one, doesn't he?
I don't know if he kills them. It looks like he beats the shit. They all. I don't know if they're dead, but they're knocked out for sure.
Does he kill people, or does he just like maim them to fucking extreme measures? What's his deal?
I don't think Cable has a problem killing people.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think so.
Right. And you know what? He is holding that knife, so.
Yeah, those future dudes like Kim and Bishop, they don't usually pull too many punches. They'll kill you.
No, yeah, because they come from like these dystopian futures that really suck. So they're ready to kill. So they've been hunted and treated like shit their whole entire life.
They all have the M over their eye. They're all
So Cable's looking for somebody. I have no idea who. He's got this guy hung upside down. He rats real quick and tells him someone showed up and gave him and his crew of guys, these weapons, and told him that Cable would be showing up. And said to kill him, take these weapons, kill him, keep these weapons, run amok, do whatever the fuck you want to do. No one's going to stop you in 1874 with fucking plasma guns. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So then we end up in the desert. Cable and this guy just, on horseback, not really talking. This guy's just laying out what he went through with this guy who gave him the weapons. I don't even know what to call him because we don't have a name for him. We don't have any kind of description. No information on him whatsoever. So, he's taking him over there, saying he had a gadget to do this and a doodad to do that and a doohickey, blah, blah, blah. And and then you get to this kind of like a crop circle in the dirt.
That's what I would call it.
So he takes Cable to this thing. Cable just disappeared. He goes, he says all your friends are back in town or in jail.
Yeah.
So
does he knows where he's going when he just vanishes?
I think he does. They don't tell you. They don't tell you that he knows. You don't. There's no information whatsoever.
Yeah, because when he lands after he vanishes, it's like time, location determining. Like, so he doesn't know, or he does know it. This is just like.
I think that's his eye, like his cybernetic eye, determining where he is. Like, but or maybe he's just following the wake of the last time jump. You know what I mean? So he doesn't know where he is.
Like maybe that fucking crop circle gives you information, transports you where to go or something.
Like, there's no narration in this book whatsoever. Like, there's none.
The pictures are beautiful. It looks great.
Yeah, it looks great, but there's no narration.
Problem.
And you get no information whatsoever about like what's happening, where we're going next, what Cable's thinking, who he's hunting, like nothing. You get nothing. And I know some people loved it. I'm not hating on it yet. We'll get to that later. But so he gets to this crop circle part, and he time jumps, I guess, following the time jump wake or whatever of the last time jump that happened, and tells this guy to go off to jail with his friends, and if he doesn't, he's going to come back for him. And then he ends up in a crop circle, and another crop circle, the same design in a field in Japan in 1543.
He's surrounded by pussy willows.
Yes, right, by pussy willows. Pussy willows. So, he walks through the crop to where, he sees a burning village in the distance, and he starts heading towards that village. And it's funny because when he sees the burning village, and then it has the close-up of his face and his scarred eye, and then he's walking towards it in the field, it just looks funny because his right arm is up, like he's doing some kind of march or something. It's just ridiculous.
I didn't notice that until right now.
Every time I look at it, I just giggle a little bit inside because I'm like, what the fuck is he marching to?
I think they want him to be sprinting. Is that what he's supposed to be doing?
Maybe he's supposed to be running, but I guess because the way his knees look, the way his legs look, it looks like he's
He's like when I take my daughter when she won't go upstairs to her bath or whatever, I'll start doing this game. We'll do this game I'll just start saying march, 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 march.
Do you remember?
And that works to get her a lot of places. Believe it.
March, because it's like a game. Move forward. Yeah. Do you remember the Bushwhackers from WWF back in the day? Yes. And they walk, they put that right. It looks like he's doing that Bushwhacker dance when he makes his way to the ring.
He's fucking Luke and Butch.
But anyway, so he's doing his bushwhacker dance on his way to this village that's burning, and he's walking through it, and he sees this lady holding a dead kid, and she's crying. There are dead bodies everywhere.
Yeah. She says she's the only one left.
Yeah, she's the only one left. She asks him if he's a demon. He doesn't say no. Yeah, he does. He says, "No, mother, I am no demon." And I don't know why he calls her mother. Maybe it's some kind of Japanese custom that he knows about. I don't know. Maybe he's traveled Japan very extensively. Who knows? But so he walks to the city. He has this quick conversation that doesn't really matter with this woman.
Because he even asks, why did this happen? And she's like, because rich men do shitty things is basically the reason you get.
That's the reason. But the funny part is that's no information at all. It doesn't take you anywhere in the story. It's just what the fuck ever.
No, it just tells you what everybody in the world already knows. I mean, come on, what are we doing?
Come on, James Robinson, what's the deal here? Anyway, James, you're a better writer than this. You used to be somebody. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I enjoyed what's that other book he does? Actually, that's kind of the same thing. Nick Fury's kind of the same thing. The first issue of that was the same. Not too. Well, you got more information than you're getting in Cable, but all splash pages or whatever. It's interesting.
It just moves quick. Yeah.
I think the way his stories are is you don't know where you are until you're issue 2 or 3 or 4 or something, maybe. I don't know, because you get no information here. But anyway, he makes past his way out of the village, and he starts walking up into the mountains, and what doesn't look like a very far walk, I guess took him a while, because we get to another scene that's kind of it's dark, and it's kind of reminiscent of the beginning. It's a bunch of guys, instead of a table, they're sitting around a fire and they're talking shit. And Cable shows up and a fight breaks out, and it's the same crap. This guy showed up, gave them these crazy ass weapons, but instead
of guns, what's going on with these swords? Are they digital swords, or are they supposed to be on fire?
They look like these fucking Tron digital swords. They're weird, made like digital fire or something. It's kind of crazy looking.
It looks weird. It makes my eyes feel like they're crossed.
When I
look at them,
it looks very 80s. It really does.
Yeah.
80s Tron swords. But he gets into a bigger battle than he did in the beginning. He's like, they say, we're going to kick your ass. And he's like, well, I had some other assholes earlier say the same fucking shit, and I kicked their asses, so I'm going to kick your ass. And, they're like, well, we were prepared. Actually, it's funny because never mind. Anyway, so they're like, asshole, we knew you were coming, and we fucking prepared. So we're ready for war, and an army comes. And they get into this big battle. Cable gets hit with these digital arrows that are like the swords, but they're blue instead
They're
of
a different color, yeah.
And the bow is purple. It's just fucked up and weird. The bow is
And it's
digital.
it's a different glow, because if you look at his knife glows too.
Yeah,
But
it
it's
glows
not
blue.
like this digital flying shit. And their weapons have like these trails of blocks and
it's all
weird
different.
shit.
Like the swords are orange, the bows are purple, the arrows are blue.
Yeah.
Like, and they all have the little squares. And I don't know what's up with his.
And you see what his is, just like a solid glow. It's a totally different.
His Bowie knife. Maybe theirs are more far flung in the future or something than Cable's.
Yeah.
Or and that's the thing. Like, Cable gets his arm cut off. Close, like, end scene. Like, that's the end of the whole issue. All you see is him laying on, like, you see the guy swipe his arm off, and then you see his head on the ground and his hand next to one of the swords in the ground, and tomorrow becomes yesterday, blah, blah, blah. But the fucked up part is you get no information. Like, I'm not dumb. I know he's chasing someone. I have no clue why. They gave us no information why, but I know he's chasing someone. But, like, you don't give me anything. There's no inner dialogue. There's no narration from an author or somebody else in the story. Like, it's just talking shit and him hunting somebody down. We have no clue what, where, when, why. Like, did this follow a previous series that we don't know about, like from Uncanny Avengers? Does this follow something from Cable and X-Force?
Yeah, that's important. That should be something you really stress when you're dealing with a dude that strictly jumps through time too. You know what I'm saying? Like, this takes place, or he's working with, because he was just with the what Avengers team was he working
Uncanny.
with?
He was leading the Uncanny Avengers.
Okay.
Deadpool and
Wasp. And did he left them or no?
The last issue I read, he was gone. Yeah, he got fucked up though. It was when they were looking for Red Skull's head. He got like his memory wiped or something. Like, this isn't really even following that. So
right,
like, it's just weird, so weird. And you get no information. Like, I expect a little friggin' information from my books. Like, I don't want to be a bitch about it or anything, but like, let's be real here.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's a number one. Like, you didn't set any rules. You didn't set anything. The fuck, James Robinson.
So your buy, borrow, or forget is what?
I feel. First of all, I want to say that the art by Carlos Pacheco is beautiful. I love Carlos Pacheco. He's a great artist. He does a great job here. I forgot to mention the creative team. My bad, creative team. Let me do that now. The writer was James Robinson. The penciler was Carlos Pacheco with the inker of Rafael Fontiras. Jesus Aburatov was the colorist, and and the letterer was VC's Corey Pettit, and various variant covers. But yeah, Carlos Pacheco did a great job. The colors are great.
It does. It's probably my favorite looking X-Men title so far. That's come out,
most definitely.
It does look amazing. And
right up there.
It's almost tough. Well, you give your rating, and then I'll get into mine and Carl.
It's right up. The art's right up there with like Jorge Molina's on blue. Like, it's really beautiful. And actually, I really like Ibanez's on Jean Grey too. Especially when the last issue, halfway through, they switched color artists, and the color was just
these solos are monthly too. They're not bi-monthly, right?
Yeah, they're monthly. Yeah,
because I wouldn't want, like, if you're coming into this book, you're obviously a Cable fan to begin with, so it's probably got a little more leeway than like a Scarlet Spider for me. You know what I'm saying? Whether the first issue was good or not, I'm going to keep buying it to see what's coming, but like at least the art is worth your money.
It really is, and I'm gonna give it one more issue to give me some fucking answers, and if I don't get fucking answers in the next one, I'm fucking out. I am out. And but this is oh god, it's a forget it altogether. Like, I feel bad because it's a number one, and I think he does still have a chance with the next issue to give us something. But I don't want to tell anybody to go spend their money on this because it's a waste of fucking time. You'll read it in 5 minutes. Like, the art is very pretty to look at, but you don't get any information. If this was a TV show, you'd shut it off. Like, you you wouldn't watch it.
Yeah.
And you might,
No.
but if it was a TV show, it probably would have fucking led to something, like some kind of cliffhanger other than him getting his hand chopped off and just being left on the ground. But like,
at least if it was a TV show, your action scenes would have been longer.
I mean, there are rules, right? There are rules to story and how you create. Like, you got to give us some answers. Like, you got to give us the rules. You got to tell us where we are.
Well,
I mean,
that's kind of like what the purpose of his time locator is, but they don't use like that.
No,
it's a cool thing they don't use enough.
I mean, narration. There's always narration in every.
Yeah, if he's got like this Terminator type eye thing that he's seeing all this information through, we should be able to at least see some of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Who is he following? Like, maybe it'll say an objective, or it'll say target and who his target is. Like, even that would have been great, because then I know who we're looking for. It could have said like objective, it could have said target, and then it could have had like target special abilities, and that's all I would have needed. And then this would have been pretty dope, you know?
Yeah, it's good at giving you a location in a year, and that's about all you get, really.
Yeah,
you don't know anything else other than where he is this issue, and he's killing people.
Like, I appreciate, like, he tried to do something different, you know, didn't use any like narration, didn't do any inner dialogue, but at the same time, like you said, that was a great idea. Like, pulling up that cybernetic eye, like, you could have gave us some information that we needed to follow this and be interested in this through that, and you just blew the opportunity, you know?
Yeah, I hear you. All right, well, we're gonna chime in with Carl's opinion here, since me and Trevor are both in the forget category for right now. But I'm also with you in forget it. But I'm gonna peek at issue 2 and see what's going on, because
Me too.
Personally want to like Cable. Like, he's kind of like a Deathstroke type character that I like to read about and read those super action heavy adventure titles.
Yeah, he's a badass soldier.
This was just like you covered all the bases there. There was nothing to it, really. You know, you're just following him, following somebody,
and you have no idea why or who or what.
Yeah, like that's what happens this issue, and he gets his arm cut off at the end. Cool cliffhanger, but no reasoning and
what, where, and why.
I literally mean it when that like digital effect hurts my fucking eyes when I'm looking at it. At least it might look better on a issue, but it hurts my eyes on my laptop. I don't know what it is. It like literally makes me cross-eyed. It's fucking weird. Like I'm trying to 3D picture it or something. I don't know.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Cable, from Carl's point of view, is, well, the book had a good amount of action. He goes, nothing happened at all in this book. He goes, the art was good, but I'm not spending my money solely on art and for nothing besides Cable going from time point to time point and fight. It's just not worth my time. So we got a unanimous forget it altogether. Fresh off the heels of a unanimous buy. So at least we're not shitting on everything. And then we were kind of like borderline on the fence for Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, because we appreciate the work that was put into the world building and the history of it.
Yeah, and the characters that were popping in and out were cool. It was a goddamn guessing game for us to figure out what was going on, and that was partially our fault.
And he does take the time to like flesh out those characters and give them a backstory, even if he just took a splash page to do it, which I totally appreciate. Like that's awesome. Give us the information. Thank you. Like it's information.
So we're gonna bring you guys the bonus book of the night, which is just some quick thoughts on Secret Empire 3 after we had a mini rant kind of in the middle of the episode, right during midpoint Marvelous Facts, or right after it. I think I'll probably leave that in. I won't cut that out.
Yeah,
or maybe I'll slide it in here if I feel like getting fancy and I got some time on my hands tomorrow.
That's cool too.
This is Secret Empire 3 out of 10, mind you now, people. This is written by Nick Spencer, art by Rod Reese and Andrea Sorrentino. And I think Rod Reese is only listed first on the website because his art pops up first in the issue.
Yeah.
Other than that, he only does the light lifting, and Sorrentino does most of the heavy lifting this issue. and I did just review this on the website over, that Jim runs, Weird Science DC. So if you're interested in extended thoughts, as far as at least my opinion goes, they'll be there. But as far as buy, borrow, or forget it altogether goes right now, as far as issue 3 is concerned, because this story has now had a full solid month to really flesh itself out. And issue 3, I would say you can probably, if you didn't skip 2, I would buy 3. And no. Here's what I want to say. If you bought 2, skip 3. If you skipped 2, buy 3, because you only need one of the 2.
Yeah, that's
true. I mean, it's just too slow moving of a story for me right now.
Yeah,
I appreciate like the setup and the care that's put into it, but some things just happen to take up page space, it feels like, and it's just large sections of boring and just nothing really grabbing my attention to make me look forward to. Basically what I come to the event books for is I want to look forward to the next issue coming out. And right now for Secret Empire, I don't look forward to the next issue coming out, and I especially don't look forward to it coming out twice or 3 times in a month. You know what I'm saying? It's just not a story that's grabbing me like that. So this issue is also a forget it for me. Even though this is the first one in the series that I've rated that low, just because I'm sick of the setup, and like I want something to happen and them stop telling me things are happening.
I like Steve-El. That was fucking pretty funny.
Yeah. Rockets got like 9 names for Steve Rogers, all different variations of
Hydra Captain Octopus Head. He's like, I'm partial to Steve-El, which is pretty fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny. Steve-El would be the easiest one to keep repeating over and over. I would go with Steve-El myself. Captain Octopus. Octopus Head. Is that because the logo is an octopus?
Yeah, because of Hydra. Yeah, because of the logo.
All right. What do you think?
It makes me sad because I enjoy the Captain Americas, and I think Nick Spencer does a really good job, and he fleshes his story out sometimes maybe a little too much. Well, I totally agree with what you said about, if you didn't read the last issue, read this one, and if you read this, because you still get the idea of what you still know where everybody is from the last issue.
That's my biggest beef with this. Like, not right. I know nothing new happens.
What we already learned.
It's like Black Widow still, like, the kids don't even take a step in their training. Like, we've gone through this times, and you guys never take that final step. You need to take. You just don't take.
You get that in Uprising instead, which if you're gonna do that, then just don't put the story in this book. Like, when the story took off at the end of the last issue, okay, well, now you got this companion book that's going to explore that story. Stop exploring it in both books, in Secret Empire and Secret Empire Uprising. Like, it's overkill. Move on to something else. Show us more.
I'm not even in your boat. Like, I'm not reading all those tie-ins. I read the tie-ins that we decide to do for the podcast, but that's it. I'm reading the main series, and I'm still at points they're beating the dead horse. You know what I'm saying?
Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers and Doctor Strange. Like, I'm only buying the tie-ins of books that I already read anyway, and those are 3 books that I normally read. But and you know what? Sorrentino's art, like, it's great, but we need a new colorist. Like, I need more color. Like, I'm sick of all the faded, like the muted colors. Like I'm looking at the scene where Captain America's Avengers, like Black Ant, fucking Dr. Octopus, Superior Octopus, Baron Zemo, and Taskmaster are fighting Atlanteans, and friggin', like, you can tell it's purple mainly because and then there's the gold and the green on the Hydra uniforms, but like, it's so muted with like pastel pink and like. And then I appreciate the watercolors and everything, but come on, man! Like, give me some like defined tones and colors. Like, it's kind of lazy. Like Captain America talking in the bottom, and it's all red. Like,
he does that a lot when the Hydra people talk. It's all red, and then when someone else is talking, it's all blue.
I appreciate the artistic value of it and what he's trying to do, but I like it when he does that more in like like an Old Man Logan or what he did on Green Arrow. Like but not in an event book. Like I want, because if he had a different colorist on this, like a regular colorist, kind of like Phil Noto, the difference between when he colors his art and when somebody else colors it, it would look a fucking 1,000 times better.
Okay, I'm looking at this panel right now. Like Star-Lord and Rocket and Groot are in space, and the whole background is white behind them. They're in space. And again, I'll read you this one line from my review. I'm like, there's a brief glimmer of action in which a band of Hydra agents attack Atlantis in an attempt to secure a sliver of the shattered cosmic cube. However, the art does it no favors. The scene takes place underwater. I go, but the only indicators are the fishbowl masks Hydra is sporting.
Yeah.
Plus, there's 2 sharks. Other than that, you have no fucking idea they're underwater. You know what I'm saying? Like it looks like they're running even.
And it's just I don't know. I don't not like this event. Like I want to like it. It's not bad, but like you said, it's 10 issues. We're on issue number 3, and it's gonna happen quick. Like it's gonna go quick. Like they seem to be on schedule. Like everything seems to be going as planned, and it's gonna be over in like August. But even still, like he's gotta stop exploring things over and over again, like the same shit. Like move on, man.
Move on. I know. Just cover a new
It's Captain America. All Captain America has done in this event is sit in a war room. Like,
I know.
Or like he hasn't done anything. Like nobody's really done anything. And when the stuff does actually happen, you get flashes of that, but you get all the conversations are long and drawn out, but all the action is like are like small cut scenes. Like it's insane.
I know. And like people are, not upset or anything. It's not like Captain America saying Hail Hydra because Punisher Hail Hydra's at the end when he attacks Boomerang.
That's like a big reveal.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying. Like all these people hail Hydra, and then you never fucking see them again. Like Scarlet Witch and Deadpool and Thor. We haven't seen any of these people again since
she was in
Hydra.
She was in Atlantis.
What fucking impact does this have?
I don't know. Like she was in Atlantis and she was doing something to that guy. I don't know if she was I don't know what she was doing to him because she was like, but the Scarlet Witch will tell me what I need to know. And then she touches this guy's head and that's fucking it. Like what happened?
Yeah, and it's not even the right information because they don't fucking find it.
No.
They don't even find the shard, and then in another Hydra temper tantrum, they just blow Atlantis up. Like they did Las Vegas, and the Hydra looks like a bunch of idiots because they don't find anything. They don't stop anybody. They don't catch anybody. They just blow shit up.
It's one one splash page, and then a tiny panel, one over, and then another tiny panel. Yeah, it's one splash page and 2 tiny panels, one on the next page and another one on the page after that. I don't not like this event, but I just don't like the pace that it's going right now, and I don't like what's getting focused on over other things. Like there's not a good balance between action and exposition. Like it's more conversation than it is anything else, and the right answers.
Like a Bendis event.
Yeah, the right answers aren't being given to us at the right time, and I think it's because it is 10 issues. Like it could have been 7. Why couldn't it have been 7?
I know. Yeah,
like
I'm there with.
I mean. Fear itself was 7, and then
down. What's if he agrees with us, or if we're just fucking old curmudgeons?
It's
Carl says real quick. While I feel this issue has been better than the last 2, he says the story is still so dense it takes 2 or 3 reads to get full understanding of where the book goes. As of right now, I'm still looking forward to buy this book every couple of weeks, but it's not something I recommend. Too many people spend money on, so he's got it as a borrow. I got it as a forget personally, this issue.
I'm going to go with Carl. I'm going to do the borrow because I do agree with him.
So,
because I think what he means is it's a borrow for him because he's invested, because he's read Captain America. And that's how I feel about it. I'm invested in it. I want to see what happens. I'm interested. It just feels like very
you're walking through the mud here.
Yeah, that's what exactly. It feels like I'm walking through the mud. Like it really does.
All right. Well, you got any final thoughts on Secret Empire there before we wrap this shebang up?
The next issue better be action packed and
I know,
and have a lot of answers and
Dude,
not be drawn by Sorrentino.
Dude, I know, and I want a break from Sorrentino. I even said, I'm like, I wish they would have used Sorrentino for the flashbacks like they were doing in the earlier issues.
Yeah, that would have been dope.
Like Rice for the main story. Like even the glowy hue, I know it's done on purpose, but even those 3 cliffhangers, like, so this girl he rescues dies, he puts her in the water and he walks off like fucking Hulk in the 70s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on? That's our hero? What the fuck?
So weird. Because
So
I guess he doesn't know where else to take her.
yeah,
He just lets her float away.
dude. Just
I like
put her
those
in the water. Let the water deal with it.
And then
It's a polluted water supply anyway. Fuck them.
Punishers, Hydra. I don't know how they're going to explain mind control. I guess mind control. Yeah. But I think the next issue is Lionel Francis Yu. So it'll be a nice break.
Good.
I like him, so it'll be a nice break.
So what do we got for next week? I think I'm gonna do Amazing Spider-Man 28. I got a few choices next week. At least I got Spider-Man, Miles Morales 17. I got Amazing Spider-Man 28, and there's another one I'm missing. Oh, Spider-Man Deadpool. But I wasn't crazy about that last issue, and that's ending that story finally. So maybe after this arc wraps up,
Miles is coming out. I feel like Miles just came out not too long ago.
I think that came out at the beginning. I got that from my DCBS order, so I'm about to catch up on that one now.
You know, I really enjoyed the art from the last issue, and it's that same artist, and he's staying on for a while. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Because
I hope the story starts suiting how good of an artist that always get on that book. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, me too. Because Pichelli's doing Spider-Man right now, so drawing that event.
But my choice as of right now is going to be Spider-Man 28. Unless if that changes, we'll keep you guys posted.
That's the Superior Octopus one too, right? That's a Secret Empire.
No, this is the end to the Osborn shit, and then the next one is Octo.
Sweet.
Hydra Ock.
I like Spider-Man.
So what are you gonna do?
Paired up with Mockingbird. That's pretty cool. I like those two.
Yeah, I think they're gonna ship those two. I think that's where that's going.
I'm not going to do X-Men Gold, and I'm wondering where Weapon X is, right? Because Weapon X is about a week late, I'm thinking.
Dude, and it's all tied up in that crossover with Incredible Hulk. The last issue I remember having anything to do with Weapon X was Incredible Hulk 19, because they're still on Weapon 3.
And that was not the week that was not last week. That was the week before, and we didn't get a Weapon X either that week. So
no, it's delayed. I don't know. They haven't said anything though.
Maybe it's going monthly or something. I don't know. But I'm not going to do Gold, so I only have one other choice because Royals is not out either, which is weird because I would have did Royals, but
slowing it down.
But I think because John Boy's gone,
but it's secretly like Marvel is getting crushed by this bi-weekly idea.
Yeah, because the artists just can't hack it. You know, I guess it's not like when DC decided to do this, like when Rebirth started, they already had like the first 6 to 8 issues in the can, so it was like
because the end of the New 52 was dog shit for like 6
months.
Nobody was on it. They were all doing the Rebirth shit.
Yeah, they were all doing the Rebirth shit. So they start like way ahead of the game. This way they can keep up with their schedule, and they have like 2 really good alternating artists. Like they just did it way better. And I get Marvel just can't keep up with it for some reason. Like John Boy Myers.
This resurrection doesn't feel well planned to me.
No,
it feels like a stopgap until they hit Legacy.
The wheels are coming off.
Yeah, it's starting to get ugly here.
We did get some good books out of it.
Right now is still Blue, and I didn't think that would have happened when it all started.
Grey.
So
Blue and Jean Grey are really good.
Yeah, that's the only one I haven't read yet. I got to read Jean Grey.
So damn good. I love it so far. I can't wait. Hopeless is, he has this acclaimed run on Spider-Woman, and he does really well with female characters. He does really well with everybody. He writes really good dialogue, and his stories are fun. And that's what I want on my comics: fun stories with good dialogue. But I'm gonna do Iceman next week.
Yeah, I had a feeling that's where you were gonna aim. And they spotlight both Icemen, right? We're not just gonna have Tinder Iceman to focus on.
Just old Bobby.
Old Bobby, good. That's the one I like.
Just Bobby Drake that we've all known forever. No 05 Bobby.
Well, that's gonna be it. So those are the three we're gonna cover next week. If I didn't already mention, Carl is gonna do Daredevil 20. What are they on? 21?
Yes, 21.
21. Iceman 1 for Trevitt, and Amazing Spider-Man 28. And if we got any thoughts on some Secret Empire tie-ins, we'll slide those in there. Keep you posted on what the hell's going on in that. Hopefully something happens soon. But other than that, you guys can reach us again on Twitter. It's at MadnessMarvel1. Send us some emails. We'd be happy to read whatever you guys send us on the show, good, bad, whatever. MarvelMadnessPod@gmail.com. And keep those Twitter reviews coming. Joe, get a hold of us if you want some Marvel digital codes. We'll be happy to hook you up. And Jim, if you want some digital codes for the review that you left us last week, we'll be happy to hook you up as well. But that's it for us, guys. Our party is over. It's late enough on the east coast of the United States.
3 a.m.
Yeah. So we'll holler at you next week. Stay abreast to the Twitter account. So if there's any changes to the book lineup and you pick up this stuff and follow us, as far as that goes, you know what to get. But we're signing out. Till next time, when there's a little more madness to talk about, we'll talk then. Later, guys.
Peace.